It says, just how accurate are the weather forecasts we hear every day? The table compares the daily forecast with the city's actual weather for a year. You're asked to complete parts A through D. And I think actually reading this chart can be a little bit tricky. Reminding you, if you click right here, it'll ask you if you want to copy the table to a clipboard, which I will do. And so I say, okay. And then I will come into Excel and I will paste the table in. I'm just going to go like, I'll just pop it in like A1. And so I can either do a home. See, mine's not showing right now. If I do that, it'll show, and then I can do the paste, or I could have done a right click and paste. All right, and so the way you want to think of this, and I'm gonna insert another row. So I'm gonna do a right click and then just insert a row, because right here, this is it actually rained or it actually no rained, and on this side it's forecasted rain or forecasted no rain. So it's kind of confusing just understanding. I'll insert another row here. I'll take this word forecast out there and kind of know that it's for this right here. So it's forecast rain, and this is forecast no rain. And then this is actual rain, and this is actual no rain. So just understanding the chart's a little bit confusing. So if you look at what we had, if it's forecasted rain and actually rain, that's 29 days. And if it was forecasted rain and there were actually no rain, that's 62 days. The number of days that there was actual rain would be 29 plus 7, with the sum of these values. So we can say equals, and then you can just type the word sum and then grab those two. All right, and then here, the actual no rain days, you could add those. You can do equal sum again, or if you come in and put your cursor on where you have this formula for sum and you make it the thinner plus sign and click the left click and drag over, it'll just it'll know that you mean to sum D3 and D4. Okay, so how many days was rain forecasted? Well, rain was forecasted on these 2 days. See, it was forecasted rain and there was rain 29 days. It was forecasted rain, but there was no rain on 62 days. So the number of days that it was forecasted rain is this sum right here. So if you do equals, and then you can say sum, and you want to add these two, that's how many days it was forecasted that there would be rain. And then you can do the same thing to figure out how many days it was forecasted that there would be no rain, 274. Now, how much should this add up to? Hopefully, both of these, either this row or this column, will add up to the same number, 365, because there's 365 days in a year. So if you sum this, you do get 365, and in your head you might just sum these and you see that you get 365. So that's the total number of days. So again, this number is forecasted that it would rain, 91 days. Forecasted that it would not rain, 274 days. Actual days that it rained, 36 days. Actual days that there was no rain, 329 days. So that's just kind of understanding the chart, kind of the first thing to do. So over here it says, on what percent of the days did it actually rain? Okay, so of the days is 365. Actual rain was 29 days that there was, or no, sorry, actual rain was 29 plus 7, or 36 days. So to answer part A, we would say equals the part, which is 36, or I can just grab this cell and divide that by the total number of days, which is 365, and hit enter. And then we want that to be a percent. So there's lots of ways to do that. If you come up here to the home screen and you just click percent, it'll do it for you. But they want it rounded to 1 decimal place, and this is showing it at 2%. So no decimal places. So I'm going to increase the decimal places, and it does give me 9.9%. Okay. On part B, it says, on what percent of the days was rain predicted? Well, rain was predicted 91 out of 365 days, because that was where it was forecasted rain. So this is going to be equals the 91, which is E3, divided by the total 365 days. And then if we want to make this a percent, we can come in here to home and then push the percent, and again home, and we want to increase the number of decimals. So that's how we get the 24.9%. Now in part C, it says what percent of the time was the forecast correct? All right, well, there's two ways that it can be correct. You can forecast rain and you can have actual rain, so 29 days, that was correct. Or you can forecast no rain and have actual no rain, which is 267 days. So we need to add the 29 and the 267 and then divide that by 365. So if you need to add something first, you'll do equals sum, and then we want the rain and it rained, predicted rain and it actually rained, so the C3 plus actual rain and there was no rain, actual no rain and there was forecasted no rain, the 267, which is in D4. So we're going to take that sum and we're going to divide it by the total number of days, which is 365, and hit enter. And then again, we want to round this to 1% and make it a decimal. So you can come in here and boom, here, and increase it. So 81.1%. Right now, the question gets a little bit more complicated. It says, do you see evidence of an association between the type of weather and the ability of the forecaster to make an accurate prediction? Write a brief explanation, including an appropriate graph. So it's kind of tricky, but you want to look at this graph. It says, when did it correctly predict rain? So when did it predict rain and there actually was rain? So this is rain and it was actually, it actually happened. Well, it predicted rain it forecasted rain 91 days, and it actually rained, on the charts below, the green bars are for rainy days correctly forecasted. So a rainy day that was correctly forecasted. So there we go. Here we go, Mrs. Sillett. Sorry. Here is a rainy day. There were 36 of them that were correctly forecasted. It was 29 out of 36. So a rainy day correctly forecasted, What is that? Well, what were the rainy days? There were 36 actual days that it rained. It was forecasted 29 out of them. So we'll do equals the forecasted rain, which is 29, or C3, divided by the total number of days that it rained, 36, and hit enter, and we make that a percent. And so we can come in here and then increase 1 decimal place. So 80.6, which is this number. Let's see if we can get some of these other ones since I've been kind of crazy. It says, the silver bar are for rainy days incorrectly forecasted. So what does it mean to be a rainy day that's incorrectly forecasted? Well, that would have been it was forecasted no rain, but it actually rained. So 7 out of 36. So let's just get that one. That's going to equal the forecasted no rain out of the actual days that it rained, which is 36. Make that a percent, 19.4. So as you go along here, you should be able to see that this one, this graph is correct. So let's see, no rain correctly forecasted. So where there were actually no rain was 329 days. No rain was forecasted on 267 days. So if we do this, we do equals the forecasted no rain divided by the actual no rain. And it's 81.2%. And the no rain incorrectly forecasted is the 62 days out of the 329 days. So you can do that calculation, just do equals the 62 out of 329. And you can see that it's 18.8%. So this is the graph that you are using. Now the question is there evidence of an association between the type of weather and the ability of the forecasters to make an accurate prediction. So let's see. They correctly forecasted rain 80.6% of the time, and they correctly forecasted no rain 81.2% of the time. So those are pretty much the same. It doesn't seem to matter what type of weather they have. They seem to be correctly forecasting rain 80.6% of the time and no rain 81.2% of the time. Now, they seem to make mistakes, be it on the rain or the no rain, about the same percentages as well. They say it's going to rain and they're incorrect 19.4% of the time. They say it's not going to rain and they're incorrect 18.8%. So those numbers are pretty close too. So it does not seem to matter what type of weather it is, whether that'll affect the forecaster's prediction. So that's why we say no on that one. Okay, hope that helps.